It's time for Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears, with your hosts, Alex.
Gosh, I have so many questions. Also, where's my car?
Splash.
Strive to love something as much as my grandmother loves buying new crock pots.
And Mac.
If you've ever been to Boston, you know that they have amazing ice cream.
Coming to you from coast to coast, it's LAR.
Hello, everyone! Welcome back to Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined by our very own first-round exits in Mathias Kurosaki and Ryan Splash Potts, my main men. It is day one of the ALCS. How are you guys doing today?
I'm actually not moved. I'm excited to watch the Mest and Phillies in the one-game playoff in the Cancun series.
Dude, that's what I've been looking forward to also, man. Come on.
The winner plays the Braves, so I kind of want to see the Mest in there. That could be fun. I know Jonah Tong just got wrecked in Game 5 against the Portland Pickles, so I'm excited.
I was happy to see the Rangers upset the Astros in the Cancun.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
ALCS you talk of. You know, I'm focused in on the Cancun NLCS.
Yeah, the Cancun series is going to be a battle.
It is absolutely a battle.
And hey, Justin Verlander just got traded, so he's available to pitch for the Astros.
Who did he get traded to? Who did he get traded to? The Portland Pickles?
He got traded to the Astros from the Giants. The Giants got eliminated by the Braves.
You hate to see him rejoin the evil empire.
It's crazy.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I know. The Cancun series, I mean, I've been keeping up with it nonstop. Yeah. I know Juan Soto's having a great run there.
Not as good as Mark Olsen.
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
Juan Soto
had Freeman could never, genuinely.
Juan Soto had the best moment of the Cancun series just by saying, "We're ready for you, Yankees." That was
exactly
the best moment ever. Although, to be fair, closely followed by someone who is still in the playoffs here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going, "Da Yankees lose."
That was. Big Poppy was having a field day.
He was having so much fun. Like, even if you're not a Yankee, even if you're a Yankee fan, you have to at least appreciate how much fun they were having.
Oh yeah. No, I love that Fox crew with I appreciate actually they have Ortiz on there with A-Rod and Jeter. Because,
here's it gives
the
very
back and forth is
the
great.
NBA. It's like the NBA vibes with all them, but at the same time, like, I love Ortiz's personality. Still not a fan of A-Rod, never will be, but at the same, I love just the jeering that goes back and forth. It's so good.
Yeah, and Jeter's always trying to like stay deadpan and all that, but he just Poppy just makes him break.
It's a beautiful dynamic.
Yeah.
So I'm doing really good because I don't know about this Cancun series that much. I've been paying attention to the Seattle Mariners making the ALCS for the fourth time in the franchise history. And Lord, it was not easy to watch, though. My God. The last game, we'll talk more about this in a bit. I watched every pitch of that 15-inning game. I don't think I have felt like my emotions roller coaster that much in a while. And it was all from, I don't want to say it was even incompetent hitting. It was just the pitching was really good.
And so was the defense.
Sides.
The defense was on point.
Absolutely.
Good fundamental baseball.
It was I didn't see that many honest mistakes. That's the thing. It was you made some potential mistakes with trying to lay down some of the bunts that just didn't work. But at the same time, they still had to make the plays, and they did effortlessly, it felt like at times. Here. And then finally, Jorge Polanco being the GOAT. So it'd be like that. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in just a moment here. But we want to talk about the division series on both ends here. So first, let's go over our predictions from last week, as much as we all probably want to just leave them be. So we'll start out.
Speak for yourself, man.
Hey, I did okay. I'm just trying not to make Splash feel bad. Make sure you tune into the YouTube version of the podcast so you can see Splash disapproved me real quick.
The trolling is crazy, Alex. I thought we had bonded over our shared loss in an 18-inning game.
We have bonded over that, but that's that if I give you a lot of crap, it means I think a lot about you.
Oh man,
that's actually true.
Maybe.
By the way, like
lost to the same team, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh,
which is hilarious. Well, not hilarious.
It like just popped in my brain.
Yeah, I put 2 and 2 together when I was doing the research last week for trivia. Like, it was the Astros both times.
Yeah, unfortunate.
18th inning to lose the series both times.
Truly unfortunate.
Crazy.
So
at least you didn't lose on a walk-off.
Yeah, we won on the walk-off this time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
15th inning.
Anyway, let's start in the National League. Here with both of you guys here. Let's talk about here first I want to get the elephant out of the room first off here. The Dodgers and Phillies series here. Look, that ended probably the worst way it could have, barring like an actual injury ending the game. But that moment here, I feel so bad for Orion, man. Like, I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm not a Phillies fan. I'm not a Dodgers fan here. But you gotta feel for the man. He made one of the most brutal mistakes in the most important moments here. And as we all know, there is no one truly more caring, more understanding here, and more even keel, calm-minded people than Phillies fans.
Can confirm, totally. But yeah, that ending. I mean, even like if you're a rival fan, even you feel bad for him, especially like you may not be like feeling bad necessarily for Phillies fans or the Phillies. But Orion Kerkering, man, that's just like that's as painful as it gets. Because and everyone's posting the screen grab that like if he had just gone to first base, he probably extends the game another inning. And I'm not saying they necessarily win the game or win the series, but to have it end on a mistake like that, I mean, it seems like he just panicked, really.
It feels like at that point, like I'm not gonna say it's okay for just a game to end that way here, but it ended the entire season for the Phillies, and that's not metaphorical. That's literal. That was the last play for the Phillies in 2025 here. So, yeah, I feel for the human on this one. Honestly, we've all made mistakes. Like that just was in the biggest moment possible.
Yeah, and the tough thing is if. Let's say hypothetically, it's still an E1, but he's throwing to Harper at first, and he throws it into the crowd. He pulls an Edmundo Sosa for another Philly. You kind of understand it, and I wonder how much of the shock value is that he airmailed the throw versus throwing to the wrong base in that case, and like that's just a brutal way for the series to end, game to end, season to end, like everything ended. It's like the perfect trio of end. And like I feel this way. Like, what's the highlight? If you're the Dodgers, are you posting that? Like, you're not getting hyped up for that, other than you score the winning run. That's true, but that's not like a play you're gonna remember fondly. It's like I'm gonna do an NFL comparison. Shoot me. It's like the Mark Andrews drop 2-point conversion. Bills fans aren't exactly they're celebrating, but what's the highlight from it? Like, you didn't do your job. You left him wide open. Mm-hmm. Like, if you weren't on the field, the same thing would have happened. It's not like you punched the ball out like the Lee Evans play from 2011. At least the Patriots guy forced the ball out, right? Or any sort of forced fumble, or if the batter had hit a home run or something, like that's you're actively participating, right? But the absence of something that just kind of burns on you. It's like when a guy doesn't swing the bat, like, sorry, Mac, but when Carlos Beltran watches a middle pitch, like Adam Wainwright throws a pitch middle, like he can't feel great about that. Good outcome, but not a great process, hanging a breaking ball to one of the best playoff performers in the history of baseball. Spoiler alert for trivia later today. Like it just leaves you feeling empty. And even if you're a Dodgers fan, like my Braves, Ravens, so on and so forth, they've been on the winning side of some of those plays, like missed field goals. like the Will Hill blocked field goal is one good example, but it just such a like you win, but it's like you didn't really do anything, and you feel bad for Kerkering. You don't feel bad for Philly fans, but it's just and that's going to sit on him for a long time. And you saw JT pointing to first. And maybe Kerkering wheels and throws to first and throws it in the dirt and the runner is safe, or he throws it down the line, whatever may happen. But that's just a crappy way for a season to end. A great game, a great series, back and forth. It's like you have some of the best playoff performers of all time in there. I know the Phillies had their issues at the plate. I know Schwarber had 2 home runs in one game, but other than that, it was kind of all over the place. Future Brave, hopefully, was kind of all over the place.
Only had one other hit, I'm pretty sure. He went 3 for 16, yeah.
Yeah, but the Phillies had great pitching the whole series. The Dodgers had great pitching besides Kershaw in game 3. And it was just like you hate for it to end that way. It would be like a great football game ending on a missed field goal, a great basketball game ending because a guy bricks a free throw, a great hockey game ending because a backwards pass gets past the goaltender. Like there's so many better ways for a baseball game to end. That just makes you feel dirty at the end. It's like, oh, really? That's the payoff? Like it's like the Game of Thrones ending.
It's anticlimactic.
Yeah, exactly. As someone who did not watch Game of Thrones, it's like the Game of Thrones ending. It'd be like if the final scene of Breaking Bad wasn't like a 10 out of 10 episode. It'd be like if Walt like punched Jesse in the face and they fell off an iceberg or something, like,
or they woke up and there was actually just Malcolm in the middle again.
Yes, exactly. But that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny though. One thing I do want to I kind of want to bring up here as well, and maybe this added a little bit of pressure to Orion here, and that was that I don't know how many people really noticed he bobbled the ball before throwing it.
Yeah,
here, like he going for the ground ball, he dropped it and had to pick it up again. And it was at that exact moment he had to make that decision. And I think if I'm trying to put myself in his head right here, it was that he saw what was closer. And he had to make a split-second decision without thinking, and he trusted maybe JT Realmuto in that moment to be like, please help me, and just didn't give him the chance.
In fairness to Kerkering, it was a forced play.
Yeah, exactly.
So all Realmuto or all Bohm or all whoever was covering second had to do was do the old stretch play. Could have thrown to any base. Maybe the runner coming from second to third trips and falls over. Okay, maybe that's the easy play. But of course, first base is your first instinct there. Maybe I don't know. I know the runner wasn't Ricky Henderson, but maybe it's Ricky Henderson with a jetpack attached to his back. So maybe you want to throw it elsewhere. I don't know. But you just compound it. You bobble it. Then you throw to the wrong base. That's a mental error. And then you airmail the throw. Now, Realmuto was on the wrong side of the wrong side of the base for the throw anyways. And credit to Haesung Kim for coming back to step on the bag.
Because
he didn't touch it like going through. Like if someone, the play happened too fast for this to happen, but had someone, like if this was a throw from the outfield and someone was backing up the play, he's out, right? You miss the cutoff man, the guy backing up the play throws it to home plate and you tag him out before he gets back there. But
Matt Holliday.
I still don't think Alec Bohm has touched home, by the way.
Oh no, he hasn't either. But I'll add this, which is that in that moment you have I do wonder if he forgot how many outs there were, because I know it's 2 outs, so you can go to first there, but if it's 1 out, then obviously the play is to home there. So I do wonder about that. But also another example I'll bring up, which is that in 1986, everyone remembers the Buckner game. My dad was there. Buckner should not have been in the game. The ball goes through his legs, but that was only game 6.
Yeah,
there was still another game to be played. The Red Sox had an opportunity to win the series again in game 7. Heck, they had a 3-0 lead in the 6th inning of game 7 before the Mets rallied and won. This is just, this is with your season on the line. And I do wonder, did he forget how many outs there were? Was it just panic? But I'm looking at the whole series, and I mean, the Phillies, if you wouldn't believe it, outscored the Dodgers. The Dodgers offense was not particularly good. this series. Ohtani in particular struggled really badly, going 1 for 18 with 9 strikeouts. The only player I'd say really kind of played to their abilities was Max Muncy. I mean, but the thing is, the Phillies, Alec Boehm had a pretty good series, actually. 4 for 12, only 6 walks to 1 strikeout. Then JT Realmuto had a pretty good series. He went 6 for 17, but it was a lot of empty performances from the rest of the players in the series. Schwarber had those 2 home runs in game 3, but outside of that, he went 1 for 15. Harper was only 3 for 15. Turner was 4 for 17. Like, a lot of the big stars in this series, I feel like on both sides didn't really come to play outside the pitching staffs. But I feel like we can say about both pitching staffs, they were excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I'll be honest. I know it only went 4 games, but I thought this series lived up to its billing because most games outside of the game 3 blowout, they were really close and highly contested, and it was really fun to watch this series.
Absolutely, yeah. And so we'll go over quick our predictions that we had for it. I had the Dodgers winning 3-2. Splash had the Phillies winning 3-2. Mac got it on the nose here with the Dodgers winning 3-1.
Of course.
You say, of course, that was the only correct prediction any of us made. So
exactly.
Let's move on here because we're going to bring this up again in just a moment here, but I want to talk about the other NLDS matchup here between the Cubs and the Brewers. And this one, I'm going to be honest, this entire series felt like cinema. Like, it was beautiful to watch, and then finally for the Brewers to win it in the end here. But I think the biggest part about all of this, right? This was the Craig Counsell series here. Because again, people know about Counsell's history, right? Being a Milwaukee guy forever and ever and ever, and then being given the opportunity to do what he wanted and then just blowing it off here because they didn't pay him what he wanted. And then he goes over to an arch rival here in the Cubs, and they play against each other in the NLDS. Like, an absolute amazing play. And also, yeah, Splash is showing this right now here on the screen. Make sure you go look at our YouTube to get the video podcast here. Andrew Vaughn had himself one heck of a series here, adding almost 5% of championship win probability added there. That's nuts. This man was on fire. Had an OPS of 1126 here. That's wow. For a guy that was a failed first baseman for a little bit with the White Sox here, it's really good to see that he's actually he's showing up to what he feels like, what we know that he can do here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, though. This series was won by the Brewers bullpen.
Yep.
And it was 100% lost by the Cubs offense.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know how else to put it. Nico Horner went 9 for 20. Not a single person on the roster other than Justin Turner, who only had 2 at-bats, batted over 300 this series. Michael Busch hit the 3 home runs. That was great. Seiya Suzuki hit 2, but PCA went 2 for 17. Kyle Tucker went 4 for 16 with the homer, but struck out in the biggest at-bat of the season. Carson Kelly went 2 for 20. This is a failure here. I'm gonna be straight up. And Dansby Swanson only went 2 for 17 also, and he made an error yesterday. It was a lot of their big stars falling flat. The pitching staff got rocked in the first 2 games of the series, but they did what they could in Game 5. Really, Colin Rea was not bad out of the bullpen. He gave the 1 home run to Vaughn, but I mean, he did his job. Drew Pomeranz, other than the home run he gave up to William Contreras, was good this series. Daniel Palencia, he had 1 rough outing in Game 2, but in general, he was good this series. Like this, it's not like their pitching staff entirely imploded. They battled back. They won those 2 games at Wrigley Field, but they just could not come through in the biggest moments. So I think credit to the Brewers offense too. A couple standouts. I mean, Jackson Chourio had a great series, 7 for 18. William Contreras hit a pair of homers, 6 for 20. Like we said, Andrew Vaughn had that big home run. He had two big home runs. He had the game-tying 3-run homer in Game 2, in that go-ahead home run in Game 5. So they clutched up when they needed to, and the Cubs offense did the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And one thing I want to bring up just really quick here is we talk about the pitching a little bit here for the Brewers here as well. And the fact of that in some of the most important games, they fully trusted rookies to throw. They trusted 7 innings here as Mizorowski pitched, I think, pretty darn well here overall. Here, I mean, take a look at over the playoff series itself. He had a 1.29 ERA over 7 innings. They're like, they trusted their guys to do the work they know that they could do.
Yeah, and I think this series wasn't necessarily won on October 11th. This series was won over 162 games. This was the Brewers had the best record in baseball. They had multiple long winning streaks. They kept winning and kept winning and kept winning, and every team went through ebbs and flows, and it was only ebbs for the Brewers. It was only positives, really, and this is a credit to them that, they lost both road games here, and it didn't matter. They took care of business games 1 and 2, then hit 3 homers to win game 5, and that's a testament to a team that it wasn't like one hot stretch. It wasn't a good month. It wasn't, in September they got hot, like Rocktober style, right? Or how the Guardians win and caught the Tigers in September. It was largely start to finish. The Brewers are one of the 2 or 3 best teams in baseball, and they end up with the best record. And your perk of getting the best record is you get to host the entire playoffs. And the Brewers get to host game 5. And tomorrow, when they play the Dodgers, they're hosting that game. And if it goes to a game 7, they are also hosting that game. And if they advance to the World Series, regardless if they play Toronto or Seattle, they will host game 1, they will host game 7. And if you don't lose at home, the Brewers can say, we will win the World Series. We don't have to win a road game. We don't. The Dodgers have to win a game in Milwaukee. The Mariners or Blue Jays would have to win a game in Milwaukee to win the World Series. The Brewers can say, all right, we'll take our home games. 4-0 at home. We win the NLCS. We win the World Series. Easy as that. And that one thing we haven't talked about, 3 out of 4 teams with the bye advanced to the LCS. The team that didn't was the Los Angeles Dodgers, who we all picked to go to the LCS anyways, unless we were hoping the Rockies made the playoffs with an 80 and 82 record and knocked them out.
Also, for the second year in a row, the Phillies were the only team to not advance. Actually, for the third year in a row, it was an NL East team. Wow.
Well, 2022, the Dodgers didn't advance either.
Neither. Oh, and they didn't advance in 2023 either.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yikes.
Good job, Phillies. Clap it up. But yeah, this series was won every time the Cubs and Brewers played throughout the season. This was one when the Cubs would have their little lulls and the Brewers would take 3 out of 5, or 4 out of 7, or, keep it rolling, right? Oh, they salvage a series. They take a third game after losing the first 2, or they win the series in game 3. So this was a case of, like, yeah, this was a close series. Yeah, the Cubs, tied it in game 5. Yeah, they had a chance to win the series, but the Brewers, the discipline of going through 6 months of a regular season, playing 162 games, earned you the right to host game 5 and earned you the W here.
Mm-hmm. And I really like how you put that, Splash. That was really eloquently put, and I appreciate that. So one thing I want to bring up here as well, before we move over to the American League side here, we talked about how the Dodgers did not really show out offensively here. And again, that is a good show on the Phillies pitching as well here. But does it carry over is my question here, because now, like you've talked about, the Brewers don't ever have to win a road game if they win their home games here. And that is a major, major advantage here in the playoffs. So with that being said, I wonder how much that is going to carry over in the NLCS. Let's move on over to the American League side of things here. We will start here. I want to end with my team here. So we'll start with the Yankees and Blue Jays. And gentlemen, I don't know what to make of this series. I really don't. Here, what happened here is a team I don't even want to say they got exposed, because the Yankees are a good team, but they may not as good as people were saying here on this. Splashy, I'll start with you on this one.
All right. This series, I need to change someone's name. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you are now the second. Vladimir Guerrero the third is the New York Yankees. You are you being
True.
Vladdy. You are the father. You are the father. You can call him Big Papa if you want. This was unbelievable. This 9 hits and 17 at bats. That's a 529 batting average. He went bananas. A 1600 OPS. He said, "I want the ball. I'm going to score." 3 homers, 9 RBI, 0.43 win probability added, 3.67 championship win probability added. And I'm going to unveil a new take of mine. Every couple days in the group chat, we send our preferred order, right? If we could choose who would win the series, this is how we would want it, right? And I was rooting for the Tigers because the rest of my family are Tiger fans. I want to give the Blue Jays credit. In the offseason, we talked on and on and on about, are they going to trade Vlad? Are they going to re-sign Vlad? Is this the kind of player you re-sign? And I eventually came around to, this is the exact player you re-sign. He is a dual Canadian citizen. He has spent his entire career with your organization. His dad played in Canada, for what that's worth. This is the exact player you pay. Mm-hmm. And before the Blue Jays are my pick to win the series, or that's who I'm rooting for. To be clear, Seattle did the same thing with Cal Raleigh, and Cal Raleigh paid dividends.
And Julio Rodriguez.
And Julio, and we'll discuss that momentarily. But this is why you pay Vlad. Mm-hmm. You pay a franchise icon. And like I said with the Brewers, this series was not won in October. This series was won every time the Yankees and Blue Jays played this season. The Blue Jays win the season series. At the end of the year, 94-68 and 94-68, the Blue Jays get to host this series. Game 1, they win by 9 runs. Game 2, they win by 6 runs. They could have lost Game 4, and they would have had a chance to go back home and win in Game 5. And they didn't even need that because they just dominated Game 5, and Vladdy was central to that. The Yankees lose was hilarious, and one of the big accounts, one of the big whatever sports MLB accounts posted a clip of it was like a brain rot edit of Vladdy saying that, and then a highlight package of the series. But I'm just impressed. Will the Blue Jays beat the Mariners? I don't think so. But this is exactly why you pay Vlad. This is why you pay to keep a star player. And we can quibble. I don't even know if Vladdy is better than Nick Kurtz at this point, because Nick Kurtz is awesome. And I don't know if Vladdy is better than Alonso or Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman or Bryce Harper, whatever. That doesn't matter. But the star is there. The dog is there. And he's now, congratulations, you have a son. It happens to be an entire baseball organization. Good job, Vladdy. You are the real MVP.
This really was just domination. It felt like every game the Jays were racing out to a lead. Even the game they lost, it was like, dude, this offense just does not stop hitting. And look at those top 3 in OPS, all over 1,400. You know how ridiculous that is? We had Yankee fans accusing the Jays of cheating. That's how good they were hitting.
The copium was high, my friend.
I mean, dude, Vlad Guerrero, literally every game was doing something. Ernie Clement, he didn't really hit for power that much. He did hit a homer, but just the way he would just stick his bat out, get hits. Dalton Varsho, he was a monster, especially in those first 2 games in Toronto. That platoon between Davis Schneider and Nathan Lucas worked flawlessly. Yeah. I mean, this was really just excellent. And the pitching staff, boy, Trey is savage. That was special in game 2. Kevin Gossman was excellent in game 1. The bullpen game, I questioned it. I'm not going to lie. But like you were saying, Slash, that I still felt that even if the Yankees won game 4, the Jays were going to win this series. The Jays were 54-27 at home this year. They went 6-1 against the Yankees at Rogers Center in the regular season. This all year long felt like the Jays just dominated the Yankees, with the exception of, all right, the last series they played in the Bronx, the Yankees won 2 out of 3. But what does that really do for you when the Jays had already won 7 of the first 10 matchups. This was really just domination from the boys up north. And I mean, now I'm just wondering how far they can carry that momentum, especially on offense. I mean, this was truly, I mean, as a team, they OPS 974 for the series. 974 as a team. They slugged over 600 as a team. That's insane. 9 home runs to 4 home runs to, by the way, home runs are good. You wouldn't believe it. Outscored them 34-19 on the series. This was just a crazy showing by the Blue Jays. I'll fully eat the L for picking them coming in last place this season. They continue to prove me wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to echo a bit of what Splash was saying, but I'm going to make a little change to it here. This series was not won in Game 4. This series was won when the Blue Jays extended Vladdy. Because I understand, I echo the sentiments of I'm not sure fully how good he is, but you know what I am sure of here? I am sure that the trust between Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the Toronto Blue Jays, the fan base, and now the team itself are all with each other here, because that kind of move is one that a team does here for, it's like that a team needs in order to keep moving forward. That trust is not something that is easily gotten. That sort of trust is when a big momentum shifting movement happens here. And that's exactly what happened when they extended Vladdy. And we've seen it all year too, where like the vibes were high with Toronto. They had so many fun players here. They've been playing very well, honestly, a good bit of the season here. Yes, near the end, they had a couple struggles here and there, but they won the AL East. Like, let me say that again. They won the AL East when a lot of us thought they weren't even going to make the playoffs here. This is right now a team with nothing to lose. And that is the scariest thing to hear for any team, because right now, neither is like the Blue Jays do not, it's like they know what they've got. They know what's going on here. It's about whether or not they can pull every last ounce of baseball out of this team. Right? And I'm going to be real with you. We saw what happened against the Yankees. This team can dominate if you give them the ability to do so. Here, I will say one more thing on this here. This entire series, it felt like you were playing a game of rock, paper, scissors while knowing what your opponent was going to throw. That's what it felt like. The Blue Jays always had the answer here, whether it be the pitching, whether it be Vladdy, whether it be, Varsho here, whether it be Clement here, they always had an answer. And that's what's probably the most worrying watching them going forward, because they legitimately look like if they keep on that trend, they will win the World Series. Like, if you have an answer to every question on a test, you're going to get an A on it. If you do not have answers, you will fail. So now it's just going to be, can these answers that they have put together hold up against the Seattle Mariners now? And then if they do get past Seattle, can they get past the Brewers or the Dodgers, whoever advances? I'm not sure on it, but I've got to say I'm excited to see, because even though I'm a Seattle fan and I'm about to go watch the Mariners play the Blue Jays in an hour and a half, then giving you time when we're recording this, by the way, but I'm scared because I see what they are capable of. So, with that being said, anything more we want to say on this before we move on to the last one? Let's move on then to the last series.
Shout out to Aaron Judge. He cooked.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, shout out.
He very much shut down the Aaron Judge can't play in the playoffs.
The homer that he had is like not superlative to say one of the most impressive feats of hitting like in recent memory. Like he's 6'7", not for the memes, sorry. And he like yanks his hands in, and like this is like he's gonna foul it off. This is.
I thought it was fouled the whole way.
It's like, It's like if you're like swinging, like if you're swinging a baseball bat, but you're like choked up on it, and he like when he's swinging, the bat like shoots up his hands and he ends up at the bottom. Like that's what it felt like. How he was able to like get the head of the bat like a foot inside. Again, he has like really long levers, really long arms in this case. Just the ability for him to hit that pitch. And we've talked, or there's been like a narrative of, you know, like Cal can hit home runs outside of the strike zone and Judge can't do that. That was Judge's first home run out of the strike zone the entire season. That one speaks to how disciplined of a hitter Aaron Judge is and how much he trusts the process. And two, holy moly, he picked a good time to do it, to tie up a playoff game. So
Absolutely.
I'm just glad I have a podcast while Aaron Judge is active, because that man is unbelievable.
Absolutely. One thing I want to add on to it, kind of, it felt like that swing, he had a torpedo bat where all the barrel was in the handle here at that point, and that's the only humanly possible way how he could have hit that ball out. Here. With that being said, let's move over to the Detroit Tigers taking on my Seattle Mariners, and wow, what a series. Like, this series was insane from the word go. Here, there was incredible pitching all the way throughout here, but I know I'm going to sound like a homer here. The real story for me on all of this is two things. One, the Mariners will not quit. And two, Seattle somehow has won against Detroit 4 times when Skubal is the starting pitcher. The only time that has happened here, excuse me, let me rephrase that here. That has only happened twice that a team has even beaten them twice here in this season, let alone 4 times. But I need to be very clear on that as well. That's not the main story, because Skubal pitched incredibly well. Like, go back to the start in Game 5 here. He threw 13 strikeouts. You need to win that game if your guy throws 13 strikeouts here. Skubal was absolutely on fire this entire postseason here, this entire showing, against Seattle. But it didn't matter because the offense could not do anything. I'm going to go back to Game 5 here because that's the one that's most recent in my head here. I want you to take a quick look at the stat sheets here, because there was one player with 2 hits, one player with 4 hits, and the rest with either 1 or 0. Here, and I'll gotta tell you, most of them were 0. Kerry Carpenter 100% was carrying this team offensively. And that's not a bad thing. And if you have a player that's doing well, yeah, cool. That's good. Baseball is a guy with a 9-man starting lineup, a bunch of bench bats, and then a lot of pitching. One man cannot win a postseason. One man cannot win a baseball game most of the time here. You can even see here, the spot is showing the championship win probability added here for Kerry Carpenter. I've only seen, while we've been doing this, the highest at being 6, maybe 7%. Kerry Carpenter was 12.4%. Every time that Kerry Carpenter came to the plate, my butt clenched. This man was insane, and he felt like you could not get him out. To when he finally did strike out, it felt like something went wrong. Not even just that you did well. Something went wrong here. But again, you take a look at the rest of the lineup here. Dylan Dingler got 2 hits here, but also had a batting average of 167 on the playoffs here. Kevin McKinstry and Javi Baez were the only other players to register a hit in that game, and that hit was a double for Baez, and Dingler also had 1 double as well. That double would end up being the catalyst for the home run from Kerry Carpenter to take the lead at 2-1. That would be also the only 2 runs that would score for Detroit in Game 5. There's so much more I could say on this, but we only have about an hour for the podcast here. So, fellas, I want to give you guys some more time to speak on this as well, because if I keep talking, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this much. After the 14th inning, My dad said, I'm going to bed. Game could go on for another hour. You know, I had to get up at 6:30 to go to New Jersey. I had a train out of Penn Station at 8:14 a.m. Saturday morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay up and going to give it one more inning. I'm quite glad I gave it one more inning because I stayed up. I watched, Castillo finally get Kerry Carpenter out. Dude, it felt like every single time. Every single time he came to play, he just did something. Oh, and yes, the
Splash. I'm going to tell you right now, I saw that post and I audibly just busted out laughing in the middle of the bar.
That was a great tweet.
That's a great tweet.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I tweeted after the 13th inning, I think, that at least we'll get a 14th inning stretch. And so we got the 14th inning stretch, and then we got another salmon run.
And Humpy finally won.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Humpy finally won. And I guess it was, maybe it was just written in the stars that Humpy would win, and so would the Mariners.
I guess so, yeah.
That's the thing is that you could say, oh my God, the offenses were terrible this game, but really the pitching was excellent on both sides, and the defense was really good. I mean, the thing is that the Tigers had an opportunity, second and third, one out in extra innings. And then Eugenio Suarez made a perfect throw home to nail Zach McKinstry on the grounder by Baez. Then obviously you don't pitch to Kerry Carpenter and you get out of the inning. There were a lot of plays like that. I mean, the Mariners had ample opportunity to win the game earlier, and the Tigers turned a couple double plays. Maybe the Mariners didn't execute on bunts necessarily particularly well, but it was both teams.
No, they got a bogus hit by pitch. I'll say that.
Well, yeah, Victor Robles. That was tough one.
Here's the thing. I texted in the group chat. Oh yeah, he clearly hit his hand first. I was watching it more later, being like,
like the best case scenario is his glove is the same color as the bat. I don't know. Maybe that was a call stands, I guess, but that was a weird inning. I thought Alan Porter did a great job.
He did. He did a great game. Yeah.
That the one inning, maybe the 12th.
Yeah, like 12th.
That was the one inning he had a rough one.
JP had a bogus. It should have been walked.
It should have been a walk that would have loaded the bases. Yeah.
Yeah, but
he also
on second shouldn't have been there. So
also on the 3-1 pitch when he bunted, people were saying that was a fair ball.
He bunted straight down, right? Straight backwards?
No, that was very much a foul ball.
Okay, that's what I thought too, but I know I saw people disagreeing.
To give you kind of an idea here, right? Like how it works for fair foul. Here, the bottom. If you ever wondered why a home plate is the shape that it is, here you take the bottom part of it and go out that way. That's how you make the fair foul lines. The ball bounced behind there first and was touched there by Dingler there, so it is a foul ball.
If he had just let it bounce again, maybe it's fair.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's the classic, like the ball rolling down on a bunt, or like when the guy from the Royals, either Royals or Mariners, like blew on the ball to make it go.
That
was Lenny Randall.
Yep, yeah, Randall with the Mariners. To quote the great U Tree, keep blowing, Lenny. That won't make the Mariners less bad.
Yeah. Well, So I'll say this much. Also, the Tigers, it feels like they lost this game because, Kerry Carpenter, great, 4 for 5. He reaches base 6 times in 7 plate appearances, but the 2 through 5 hitters when he combined 0 for 23. And you look at the statistics for this series, by championship win probability added, Kerry Carpenter, Dylan Dingler, and Jahmai Jones are the three guys above 1%. Carpenter 11.22%, Dingler 2.34, Jones 2.08. You had a couple like single at bat sample sizes from Andy Ibanez and Jake Rogers, but Spencer Torkelson, Wenceel Perez, Riley Green, Javi Baez, Gleyber Torres, Parker Meadows, Colt Keith, all well below 1%. And especially for guys like Torkelson and Green, that's just not acceptable. Those are your 3 and 4 hitters in the lineup, and they didn't do their jobs. I mean, Torkelson in particular, I know that Tiger fans turns out are really divided on Riley Green, who had a great regular season, but he also strikes out a lot. But Torkelson went 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts in Game 5. So the offense really sold for them because I thought their pitching, for the most part, was really good. In particular, Will Vest was great out of the bullpen. Obviously, Skubal was excellent. Outside of Brennan Hannafy, and I guess Kyle Finian had 2 blown opportunities, I guess. He got the loss in game 2, and he was charged with the tying run in game 5. But, I mean, it just felt like Dan Wilson, outside of game 4, pressed all the right buttons. And for the most part, AJ Hinch pressed all the right buttons. But in these close games, it comes down to the little things, and the Mariners were just a little bit better at it. But this was, in my opinion, the best series of the opening round.
Absolutely.
Or of the LDS.
Yeah. And one thing to kind of say on that as well, to make a light joke of what was going on earlier, AJ Hinch was playing chess, but Dan Wilson was instead playing Metopia. They were not playing the same game, but they are both playing their games incredibly well. So, with that being all said, is there anything more we want to say on this series? Yeah, this was incredible to watch all the way throughout here. I was lucky enough to be there for one of the games, game 1 of it. They lost, but still fun. Now we have 2 very interesting series coming up here. On the American League side, we have the Seattle Mariners taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. On the National League side, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. So I feel like we've dissected how well these matches were going to go pretty well, just talking about the DS here on this. So let's not go too much into this as well, because we also have trivia we want to do. So the next thing, what I want to bring up to you guys here, I want your gut reactions. Who wins each series? Here, I don't want the picks just yet. We can talk about that in a moment here. I just want a word here. For the American League side, do you have Toronto or Seattle winning it?
Just one word, who wins?
One word, who wins?
I have Seattle.
Seattle?
Chris Paul, must-see TV.
Look, it was because of that legitimately that I was like,
TV.
I couldn't say Blue Jays. I had to say Toronto. Because I was about to say one word. I want your one word. Blue Jays. Wait a minute.
I'm going to go one letter. M's.
M's. Yep. And I'm going to give my letter. And I'm not even going to say anything because I'm wearing it all over me.
For those that are listening to the podcast, Alex is fully decked out in Toronto Blue Jays memorabilia.
Okay, no, that's incorrect, Splash. That's just very wrong. Okay, fine. Mariners are winning this here. I currently have my postseason. Let's see, is that? Yeah, that's the side. Postseason Mariner hat with the teal. My Cal Raleigh City Connect hat and a Good Vibes Only shirt. Seattle. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the moment to ourselves here, but for me, there's one number that is on my mind here, and that number is 4. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about that more in a minute. If we're going to talk about how many games this is going to take, I think Seattle needs to finish this at home. So I think Seattle wins it in 6.
If you want Seattle in 6, you can get that. Is it correct score? Yeah. Mariners 4-2 is plus 490.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Mac, what do you got?
I also have the Mariners in 6.
Do I also go with Mariners in 6? I'm going to say I'll take Mariners in 4. Or not Mariners in 4. Mariners in 5. Why not that?
All right, fair enough. So we all have Seattle. Moving on to their very first ever World Series. Let's go over to the National League side. Here we have Dodgers. We have Brewers. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start this time with Splash. One word. Who wins?
Empire.
Empire. Okay. Great TV show.
Great Star Wars movie as well.
True. All right, so you have Dodgers then. Good to know. All right, Mac, where are you at?
I'm going to stick to the Star Wars theme then. I'm going to say Death Star. That's one word,
words,
right?
Buddy. That's 2 words.
Yeah, that is 2 words.
In my head, it's Paul. 1 word, all right?
Nah. Sorry, pal.
All right. You could just say Vader at that point.
Yeah, Vader.
I'll tell you about that. I'll go the words. I'm going to say Brewers. I think the Brewers going to take this.
Okay.
I'm
rocking the Brewers hat.
I am I like the hat, by the way. No, I've been saying this for a while now. My dream World Series is Mariners v. Brewers. I'm trying to like put it into existence, speak it into existence.
I hope it happens. I hope I'm wrong. All right. It's
all right.
You can see the difference between Alex and I as a sports fan. I'm like pessimistic to agree. Alex is, I don't want to say hopelessly optimistic because his team is still here, but optimistic. I'd be like, oh, the Braves are getting swept. The Ravens are losing by 70.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I can be optimistic now. For those of you that have listened to the podcast, you guys know that a lot of the time when I'm not confident or when I'm not like hopeful, I am hopeless. So, with that being said, though, I think Brewers win this in 7 because I think that they're gonna have to do it just like they did against the Cubs here, where it's gonna come down to the final game and the home field advantage is going to play big for them. So I say Brewers win it in 7.
All right, you can get that at plus 630.
I got Dodgers in 5.
Do I agree with Mac or do I agree with Alex? So Dodgers in 5, you can get that at plus 340. I am going to go Dodgers in 6.
So same kind of idea as like what the Mariners won.
Sure.
That you're going to win it in LA. Okay.
Sure.
Fair enough. All right. Well, those are our picks. Let us know what you guys think here by leaving a comment here on the YouTube or on Twitter at LAR_baseball. But now it is time for trivia, everyone's favorite segment. And for trivia, I hand things off to the one and only Splash.
Yes, sir. I am back. Last week we had a very successful trivia. I thought it was good. I thought both of you thought it was good.
I had a great time. Yeah.
So we're gonna run it back, but in a little bit of a different format.
Okay, I got my cheeks clapped last time.
Yeah, it'd be like that. This time I have, since 2010, the ALCS and NLCS MVPs.
Okay.
But if you're quick at counting, you'll notice I have 47 names up there. There's no repeats, ironically enough.
Okay.
I have 47 names up there. I have some bogeys, some negatives, some guys who did really, really well in their series, high win probability added, perhaps even the best in their series, but did not win the award. They are listed in alphabetical order by first name, leading off with Adolis Garcia, finishing off with Jordan Alvarez. There is one double bogey, I'll call it, if you pick him, a LCS MVP who had a negative win probability added in the series. Believe it or not, it happens. It happened once. If you pick him, you automatically lose.
All right, so I'm waiting for when
if you automatically lose, you might as well not even try.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So there are 15 American League Championship MVPs. There are 17 NLCS MVPs, and there are 15 bogeys. And then the mega bogey. I'm not going to disclose which league he was in, but one of the actual MVPs is a mega bogey. All right. Mac, you won last week. You may opt to go first or second here.
I'll receive here.
All right. Let me get out of my please choose your first player.
My first player, I'll go with the guy at the top. He had a big series, Adolis Garcia.
Sure. Let me black out the scores here so they're not updating like crazy. All right. You go Adolis Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Alex.
All right. I'm going to go with one that I've been talking about a little bit more as of late here. I'm going to go with one Randy Arozarena.
Randy Arozarena. Now on the Mariners.
And yet we have not seen playoff Randy in a while.
It is your choice.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jordan Alvarez.
That was going to be my next pick.
And to be clear, the bogeys, I have their win probability added for the series, but it's bolded, italicized, and underlined, and that counts as negative points for you. So hypothetically, if you had a -1 or a 1 win probability added for a series, which one of the LCS MVPs did actually eclipse 1, but in this case, you'd get a negative if you picked the bogey player. All right, Alex, your choice.
All right, I'm going to go with one that I'm trying to remember if he actually won the award or not here, but I'm going to use my MLB The Show knowledge here a little bit here, and I'm going to go with Chris Taylor. I know
Chris
he had
Taylor.
a mega series here at one point. That was just he was the reason they won.
He was really good in 2021, by the way, too.
Yes, he was.
All right, Mac.
Alrighty. I will go with, where is he? I believe this guy won NLCS MVP, Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper. I'm surprised Phillies fans aren't calling him Bruce right now. Alex.
All right. I'm going to take a shot here, and I feel like this might be a bogey. I'm not sure though, but I'm pretty darn sure that he did a lot of good stuff here. I'm gonna go with Madison Bumgarner.
Adbum.
I had him on my radar.
Okay.
All right, Mac.
I'm going to play the homer card here, Daniel Murphy.
Murphy's the law. All right,
That
Alex.
2015 NLCS, man.
All right, I'm going to play the anti-homer here for the first time ever, and I'm going to pick the shortest man in baseball, Jose Altuve.
All right. Is he actually the shortest man in
No,
baseball?
he's not. No.
Okay.
I don't know,
close.
actually.
No, he just is very short.
All right. I'm going to go with another pitcher here. I'll go with Justin Verlander.
All right.
Verlander was going to be my next one.
Justin Verlander.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Corey Seager for my next one.
That is the game that is over. Corey Seager with the 2020 Dodgers had a negative win probability added. So my friend, he's
Wait
in
a
the
minute.
negatives.
Wait
There's
a
your
minute.
bogey.
No, hold on. Like, I thought I was going mostly on the Corey Seager that was on the Rangers.
That would be Adolis Garcia.
Oh, fuck me.
Corey Seager did win World Series MVP both times, but his LCS MVP came in a year that he had a negative win probability added. So,
Wait, what? In 2020, he was negative win probability
That's
added?
insane.
He had a monster series, though. What?
negative. I'll pull up the stats for it, but yeah, that's a negative.
No way.
That yeah. If
The
I
stat is
recall,
wrong.
If
The
I
stat is physically wrong.
all right, I will share the tab.
Also, I need to apologize. I just swore on the podcast here, so on that one, I am sorry to everyone there.
Oh yeah.
Here,
So Corey
fine.
Seager, 5 home runs, 11 RBI, negative win probability added.
How is
negative
that
championship.
possible?
How?
Because most of his production came in this game right here.
Oh my!
And he had a homer, a double, 3 RBI, 3 hits. So yeah, he cooked in that game, but a homer, 2 doubles, or a homer and a double only accounted for a 0.143 win probability added. In other games, he had big spot. Oh, that's the Braves. In this game, he had a negative 0.012 back in game 1, another Braves win. He had a big negative here, a negative 0.064. Game 4, a game that the Braves thankfully dominated. He was negative 0.059. See, you get what I'm saying here, that yes, the production was there. He was positive 0.117 in game 5. That's good. Game 6, wrong team. Wait, is that Pablo Sandoval? Yes.
Yeah, he was on that team, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that. But 0.056 here, and then game 7, the creme de la creme. I never want to remember this game. He was negative 0.24 in this game.
That's actually crazy.
And that's a big reason, like 0 for 5. Like that's a big negative number. That's a big negative championship win probability added. So when some of your production comes in a blowout, so you're not getting bonus points for that. That's how that comes to be. So as it was tracking, Mac, you had 2.933 points, and Alex with the bogey player at 1.76. So reasonable effort. Yeah. Big boost from Harper and Altuve. Then I'll unveil.
I'll be honest. I thought Alcides Escobar was going to be the bogey.
Oh, he won. He was a legitimate
okay.
LCS MVP.
Wait a minute. Why was Corey Seager the bogey here when Alex Bregman had a worse one?
Alex Bregman didn't actually win an ALCS MVP.
Oh, yeah, so I picked the one that did win MVP, but did
but
yes,
at a negative
you
win
picked
probability.
the worst of the MVPs. But if you had chosen Juan Soto, that would have given you a big negative number because Soto he did this with the Padres. He was excellent in that series, at least from a win probability added.
Oh, that was okay. I thought that was Nationals Soto for some reason.
Yeah, this was 22 Soto. Also Carlos Correa, he had multiple tries, bites at the apple, but did not win a LCS MVP.
Who was the highest? Was it Harper or
it was Eddie Rosario? Respect.
Oh my God!
Him.
Yeah, wow.
1.1, baby, unbelievable.
That's crazy. And then I'm assuming Uehara was from 2013.
Yes.
Wow, that's.
I'm livid right now.
Javi Baez,
I still can't believe that.
Positive. A 0.07.
Yeah, I remember he was co-MVP with Lester.
Yes, Lester was 0.5.
Also, does that say Justin Taylor in there?
Justin Taylor?
Under Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Justin.
I was wondering if that was like a trap because that's not a player or something. Like, did you mean Justin Turner?
Justin Turner, yeah.
Wait, when was Turner an LCS MVP?
2017.
He was?
He was co-MVPs with Chris Taylor.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know that
that's how the 17 LCS or NLCS MVPs come to be. It was a tie in 16 and 17. Marco Scutaro, Michael Wacha.
Yeah, I remember Scutaro.
Kyle Schwarber has been great. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera was awesome. Didn't matter. Delman Young won LCS MVP that series.
I still think Travis Ishikawa should have won in 2014.
Perhaps.
In my humble opinion.
Do you know which Will Smith this is?
Is that the reliever one?
Yes.
That's reliever Will Smith. Is that from 2021?
Yes.
I mean,
yep.
I know he was great that postseason.
Yep.
So
11 for 11 when he came into the game, did not allow a run. All right, that was a fun.
That was fun. It was anticlimactic, but
unfortunately,
it was good.
Corey Seager's like the perfect bogey here because he did have a monster series, like 5 home runs, 11 RBI, and he's been a playoff hero for multiple teams. So you had like multiple bites at the apple. It's like the Astros guys. That's why so many. That's why like I mentioned Correa, Beltran, Springer, like they're always in the playoffs. They're always deep at Bregman too. They're always winning series. So maybe you'll trip over the bogey, but Alex, you were able to double bogey. So Mac, congratulations. Alex, unfortunate, really.
Yeah, that one hurts. Wow. All right, you know what? I probably should have logicked that one a little bit more with knowing Adolis Garcia there, but you know what? We take those, I guess. But thank you for our trivia. I want to say it was fun because it was, but at the same time, I'm also salty, so you just have to deal with that for right now. But with that being said, it's now time for the moment to ourselves where we take a moment to talk about whatever is on our mind. It does not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Gentlemen, who would like to start this out? Splash, your hand went up first, so you may go ahead. Let's count you down. All right. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the Indiana Hoosiers. Woo, boy. I've been back into college football a lot this year, and it's fun. You know, I have my mixed feelings about like the transfer portal and NIL and whatnot. And on one hand, like as a former student, I can understand. Like I could have transferred at any time. It would have been annoying, but I could have transferred at any time. And these players that are generally like more well off or more able to be well off, especially with NIL, like they're making millions of dollars for their name, image, and likeness, and I'm not exactly doing that. It can be tough with like the transfer portal and how guys move around, and it feels like every quarterback is a transfer, every good player is a transfer, or like Texas Tech like bought a defensive line. Now credit to them, they bought the right players and they have the best defensive line in the country and one of the best defenses in the country. There's a reason they are the number 7 team in the country, and you could argue even deserving to be higher. But I think college football is a great time. There's so many teams, and I know this is taboo in other sports, but you can even have like multiple favorite teams or multiple teams you like to watch. And like heading into the season, like I'm obviously a Boise State fan, but I said I'm going to have a pick. I'm going to have a team I follow in every conference, every major conference that I'm like rooting for them to make the playoff. I'm rooting for them to be interesting. And Texas Tech, you've done it. Illinois, you did not exactly live up to expectations. I know you've dealt with injuries. South Carolina, injuries again, but that hasn't been a great season. And Duke is undefeated in conference play, and they play Georgia Tech next week. That should be a lot of fun. Both teams are undefeated in conference. So I'm excited moving forward. I know Boise State's kind of played their way out of playoff contention. They would need not quite a miracle, I'd say, but with both Memphis and USF looking really good in the American, like one of them is likely to win the American. And then UNLV has been very good this season. Navy is really good. Tulane had a tough loss to Ole Miss, but other than that, they've been really good. So for a Boise State aspect, the best case scenario is UNLV and San Diego State are really, really, really good, and they get highly ranked, and then you beat them later in the season. So I don't know. I'm rooting for Georgia Tech to make a run at the playoffs. My Georgia grandmother's a Tech fan. Of course, I'm not for Georgia in any way, shape, or form. So they can lose every game. But anyways, college football is a fun time. Go Broncos. They had their kicker threw a touchdown last night. And my alma mater, Arizona, had a double-digit lead. There's a lightning delay, and they lost in double overtime. I definitely screwed that up.
No worries. It's all right here, but yeah, I wish I could care about college football right now.
My team is kind of a disaster. Not gonna lie, but I will say, my brother is a Hoosier, so I appreciate when they're doing well. And yes, my one of my other brothers did get his PhD from Georgia Tech, so I would like. I mean, if they succeed, great.
Fair enough. All right, Mac, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, I went to homecoming yesterday at TCNJ. It was really fun to see my old teammates. A lot of them I hadn't seen in a while. It's kind of humbling racing some people who are 7 years younger than you. I took on the freshman class in a race at the end of the alumni meet. I'm glad to say I beat most of them, which is good. It's weird though being the sort of older guy on campus, but yeah, no, just a really good time. D3 football, for anyone who cares about it. TCNJ won 42-0 yesterday. Shout out to them. They have come a long way from when I was in college. So that was fun to watch. Also, New Jersey Transit, good job. Only 2 minutes late leaving Penn Station, on time leaving Hamilton, coming home. So yesterday was a great time. I was running on very low sleep, obviously, after watching the Mariners game. But I had enough energy to not fall asleep until I was on the train home. So, overall Saturday was a lot of fun. And, maybe, it's always fun reconnecting with other alums and your former teammates. So, yeah, homecoming was fun, and looking forward to doing this in future years.
Yeah, I mean, I love whenever I get to meet up again with old teammates from teams I was on. It's always a good time. All right. Can someone count me down? I'll go into mine.
Yeah,
Sure.
I got you.
Oh, that works.
All right, sure. Hang on. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
The magic number for me right now is 4. 4 is the amount of games that Seattle needs to win to finally no longer be the only team to never make the World Series. 4. To put that into a bit of perspective here, a Major League Baseball season is 162 games, not including postseason or preseason, spring training, all that fun stuff. It all now comes down to 4 wins. If you can get 4 wins before the Toronto Blue Jays do, you will make it to the World Series for the first time ever. Getting rid of King Kong on your back about it as this has been probably the most tried and true joke in baseball for the last several years here since the Nationals made in 2019. I'd like to also bring up one more thing with this here, and that is manager Dan Wilson. One, I love you. Thank you. But two, the Mariners have been to the ALCS only 4. Hey, there's that number again. 4 times in their history. 1995, 1997, 2001, and now 2025. Do I know the one thing that has been similar between all of those here? Actually, no. There's been 2 things that have been similar here, people-wise. Those 2 people, Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez. Both of those players were playing the last time that Seattle had made it to the ALCS here, and they were key contributors in those series. Now, as managers and coaches, they have led Seattle back to the ALCS for the first time in 24 years. So now, all that separates you from getting rid of the biggest stereotype right now in baseball, or the biggest negative stigma in baseball, is 4 wins. You can do it. Go at it.
Yeah, fair.
All right. With that all being said now, Mariner Baseball is going to kick off in exactly 1 hour from right now, so I got to get ready. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in today to this episode of Losses Above Replacement. Make sure you go give us a follow on Twitter at LER_baseball. You can also follow us all individually. You can follow me at the Sports Guy 242. You can go follow Mac at Mathias_A_K, and you can go follow Splash at Mrs. Splashman19. You can also go and subscribe to us on YouTube here and on Spotify. Here, Losses Above Replacement. Give us a fun review. Leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to make the World Series this year. But from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, thank you so much to all of you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Go Mariners. And I hope to see you all real soon.